Hey folks, how's everybody doing? Yeah, 2 nights in a row, man. I went live yesterday. Had a guest on, had Philip Schaus on, interviewed him. Just check out that show; it's really cool. Philip's an awesome guy. There's actually two videos, but the second one is the one that counts, the take two, because we had a internet problem earlier, and then we did it again about 15 minutes later. But look at take two; it's a pretty good interview with Philip. Super guy. If you don't know Philip Schaus, he's a current guitar player in Accept, and he's played with Ace Frehley and Gene Simmons, and he's been on the channel like at this point I think 4 times now. So just a really good friend of the channel, and got a new project called RCMC, Rock City Machine Company. They got a new single out called Can't Stop This Train, which is very cool. So check it out. All the links for the music and everything's below on the video yesterday. It's on Spotify and every streaming service you can imagine. So, as well as my music. So, hey, go check out my stuff. I think I got 25 songs now or something crazy like that on my, all available on all the streaming services. So that'd be much appreciated. Wow, you got 11 people in here. This is awesome. I just announced this like half an hour before I started because I was debating whether or not to do it, because 2 nights in a row, you can, it's like hack overload, so I'm trying to anyways. Oh, Sandra's in here. Hey Sandra, how are you? There's Gussie, nice to see you, buddy. Spencer Cron, cool. It's going down. Gary Joyce, how you doing? Randy Crooks, welcome. Just going down here. PJ Colby, how you doing? There's Dwight Bailey, how are you, sir? What else we got? I think I caught everybody. Cool. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming by on a Saturday night. Reason I'm going live again today is because I won't be able to go live probably for 2 months after this. Things are starting to ramp up a little bit gig wise. We don't do a lot in the wintertime, and that's intentional because if you live in Canada, the winters are totally unpredictable. So we try not to do a lot in the wintertime. We are doing St. Patty's Day, which is this Friday. We're playing a show. And then once we get into April, we're playing like every weekend in April. So I'm not going to be doing live streams. So I'll be out in the bars, hopefully entertaining some folks. So I figured let me do one today because I'm not going to be doing one for a couple of months. Terry Himes just joined us. Cool. So changes to the arsenal. So what happened? A couple things happened in the last couple of weeks. The last time I went live, I was showing this really gorgeous. If you were here the last time, hey Jerry W, nice to see you. Hello from Kentucky. Hey Kentucky. If you watched the stream from I guess a couple of weeks ago now, I was showing off this beautiful American Professional 2 Stratocaster that I had with beautiful Olympic white tortoiseshell rosewood fretboard. It was gorgeous. And unfortunately, I had to return that guitar. James Orlowski, how are you? Nice to see you. Got some new names in here. So I had to return that guitar, and that kind of broke my heart in a way because I love that thing. But it how would I put this? It was a great guitar. Absolutely gorgeous, played great, sounded great. Well, that was the problem, was the playing part, but I'll get to that in a minute. But just sounded absolutely fantastic. And I took it to a couple of rehearsals, and it did everything I needed to do. Being a cover band, we play such a variety of material, and I need guitars that can do all of that. The issue was and this is going to get really guitar nerdy here, but most of you in here are guitar players. Cushman, New York City, nice to see you. So you'll get where I'm coming from, but I've never come across this in 30 years of playing where I actually ever thought of something called a neck radius. And a neck radius is basically the curvature of the fretboard. And they made these guitars with 9.5-inch fret radius. And so there's a bit of a curve to it. And to compound things, this particular, and another thing I never worried about was frets. And this guitar had tall, thin frets. So why is that a problem? Well, it's a problem because if you want to drop the action, and I play with as pretty low action, as low as friggin' possible. And every time I dropped the action, I would fret out on the high E and the B strings. I would just fret out. And the reason being is when you're bending, you're actually bending into the curve. You're bending into the actual radius, the arch of the radius, if you can imagine that. So it was just one of those things where I would adjust it, fret out, bring it back up, and then it was like too high. And kind of I try to live with it. But, you know, I don't like the feeling of, you know, when I'm playing up high in the neck, feels like I'm walking through quicksand. I can't do that. It's something that's going to bug me. And I took it back and, you know, went back and forth with the tech, and he tried, and he, you know what, he said the thing that didn't want to hear, but I had to hear, which is like, you know what, maybe this guitar isn't for you. And it wasn't for me, right? You know, the fact that I had the tall, thin frets means I couldn't drop the action too, because that was an issue, right? If it had like flatter frets, like medium jumbos, like most guitars have, it would have been fine. But the tall, thin frets with the combination of that and the neck radius. So unfortunately, I had to take it back. So that kind of really bummed me out, right? So, you know, there's always something else, right? So I came across, now because I gig so often, and you know, we'll be gigging through the summer and that, and get all kinds of stuff lined up. You know, when you get to be my age, you start worrying about things or start thinking about things like, you know, heavy amps. So I started looking for, can I get a small amplifier that was maybe a little lighter than my Marshall DSL 40CR, which you can see like right there, and something that was a little smaller and easier to carry. And I always wanted a Mesa, a Mesa amplifier. But they're really, really expensive. So this is just sort of kind of when things happen, you just kind of have to jump on them. But I found a used Mesa Recto-Verb, and it was used, and it was $1,000 less because it was used. It was one of those deals where, you know, you see that, man, and you just got to grab it. Like saving $1,000 on a Mesa is crazy. So I had them. I deal with Lon McQuaid, and I have a good friend there, and he had this that brought from another store. And man, you know what? If they put this on the shelf and put a brand new price tag, nobody would have questioned it, because this thing was in absolutely mint condition, and it's amazing. It's probably the best amp I've ever owned, and it is behind me, but you can't see it. You can see the red light, but it's behind me right there. So, why is it great? It's got two completely independent channels with two completely different, and I don't work for Mesa. I'm not sponsored by anybody, but it's behind me. I got it mic'd with an SM57. It's running directly into my interface here, and it's just the cleans on it are like the best cleans. It's got some crazy good drive channels. It just does everything. It's, you know, and so for tonight I thought, well, let me play the Mesa, let me mic it with an SM57. All I'm using is the foot switch to switch from one channel to the other. And it's got two reverb tanks, individual reverbs for each channel. I mean, it's crazy, right? That's why they're so damn expensive. But if you could find a deal on a Mesa, man, I'd be all over that. Yeah, Gussie, it does suck when you have to bring a guitar back. Totally. I'm just gonna catch up here on the chat a little bit. Okay. Yeah, saving 1,000 is huge. Yeah, I love a deal. Yeah, Cushman. Yeah, it's a great amp. It's a great amp. I love my Friedman. I have a Friedman Runt 20, like a head. That's great too. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's amazing as well. But the reason why I say the Mesa is the best amp is that I've ever played is because just the versatility of it. Like, it can do anything. So this is the clean. No effects, nothing, just the amp. So absolutely, just I don't know if hopefully the sound is coming out from what I'm hearing in the room, but it's crazy good. Uh, yeah, it's a great. Yes, yes, Senator, definitely good deal. Yes, they had one. Randy Brooks is saying they had another one in worse shape that sold for almost $800 right after I bought mine. I picked up a 40. Oh, you're talking about a Hot Rod Deluxe used for 350. Had to get it. In Canada, man, shit. I had a Hot Rod Deluxe. Not for long, but I did have one, and it was I think I had it for about a month, and I bought that for 400 used. Now, keep in mind I'm in Canada, so our dollar is worth nothing. And this is probably going back about 5 years ago, but you can pick those up used for $400 all day long. Why did I not keep it? Because, and everyone says they're the great for taking pedals. But this one, I don't know, maybe I get a bad one. I don't know, but when I was running pedals through that, as I think I know 1 gig for sure, maybe two. And I just found it, everything sounded kind of like AM radio, like there was no dynamics, there was no bloom, there was no, and then I took the exact same pedal board and I plugged it, because I still had the Marshall. I've always had Marshall DSLs, and I plugged it into my Marshall, and everything just came to life and sparkled. So that obviously meant that the Hot Rod Deluxe days were numbered, and yeah, I took it back. So that's the this is Blackie, by the way. Speaking of deals, $1,500 used. Buy used stuff, man. And it's one of my favorite Les Pauls. I've done so many shows with this, it's not funny. So that's the bridge, and then the middle. Here's the neck. Yeah, totally, Jerry. Yeah, man, there's so many good amps out there. How many watts, Spencer's? 25 watts, which for the places that thanks, Gussie, great tone. For the places that I play, yeah, it's got a really cool, really good clean, Randy. For the places that I play, you know, I, if it's a smaller venue, I'll take the Marshall DSL 40CR combo, which again, you can see kind of right there. It's a little big, right? Um, And man, if I get that volume on that thing, if I get it up to 3, that's a good night, you know. So 40 watts is way, way more, and we don't mic amps or anything. I mean, we're playing straight out, right? So 25 watts in a smaller package, like it's only 19 inches wide. This thing, right? It's a little deeper than the Marshall, but it's not as wide, and it weighs 10 pounds less than that. It's still heavy. Don't get me wrong. It's not like, ooh, this is nothing. You know, it's not like I'm carrying, like, you know, one of those Fender Tone Master things or nothing. There's still a bit of meat there, right? But, you know, but just the compact size of it and stuff, and it's just, you know, easier to get in and out of in and out of the trunk. And when you're playing one weekend after another, after another, after another, you know, that you start to worry. I start to worry about shit like that, you know. Yeah, thank you, Sandra. Yeah, hit that like. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. And if you haven't listened to my original music, go to Spotify, go to Apple Music, iTunes. It's all there. Check it out. Just type in guitar hacking. Woo! Whole whacking stuff there. Actually, I've got my latest song here queued up, which I might play a little later. And this might end up being the last song I ever record. I don't know. You've been setting your Hughes and Kettner Deluxe 40 at 20 watts for gigs. Yeah. Well, the other thing on the Recto-Verb too, it's a 25 watt. There's also a switch that I can bring it down to 10. And honestly, it doesn't really change the volume much. What it does is it just breaks up a little bit quicker than if you have it on the full 25 watt. That's really the only difference. So, but yeah, it's killer. And the drive sounds on it, and I'll show you the drive. I set up a drive tone. I've always been a fan of the dual rectifier, you know, amplifier from Mesa, and the dual rec it kind of gets a bad rap, right? Because, you know, it's got that tread plate, you know, cover on it, and everybody thinks of it as a metal amp, right? And it does metal. I mean, it does metal quite well, but it also does a killer clean and a nice crunch. It's way more versatile, right? And this is basically, I have that amp in the Recto-Verb. It's a dual Recto-Verb, right? So that circuit is in there, and you know, they're great, man. So on the dirty channel, both channels, so it's a 2-channel amp, and each channel has its independent EQ. I can't show it to you because it's behind me, but I'm going to do a full demo on this, and then I got something else I got to talk about too that I got to do a demo on. But you know, it's got 2 completely independent EQs. It's got spring reverb, 2 spring reverbs. So you have a spring reverb for the clean channel and one for the dirty channel. And then within the channels themselves, you have 2 settings. You got a clean, which is what I'm on now, and then you got a pushed. So the clean has clean and pushed on that one channel. So you can get some, like, basically your crunch tones on that. And then you got the drive channel that has a vintage, and then it has a modern, right? The modern being, you know, like the chugging type of, you know, heavy gain stuff that I really dig too, right? So, you know, again, it's like 2 channels, but really there's 4, you know. And then you get the foot switch to go from one to the other. And the gain, like what I was going to say, the drives are so good on this, and the reverb is so good on this, that I'm going to probably use the drives off the amp instead of using pedals. So that amp is probably going to take the reverb pedal off my board and probably one of the dry pedals off my board. I'm just going to use the channel switcher because it's that good. So, but yeah, Hughes and Kettner's cool. I have a Hughes and Kettner tube. I have the Tubemeister 36 watt. If I end up keeping this one, I'm probably going to sell that one. So I'll have two combos, and I'll just keep the Friedman Runt. So, but from what I understand, those the Tubemeister heads are much sought after. So I don't think I'll have too hard a time selling that. I actually sold a pedal today. Sold my Plumes pedal today. So I'm always buying and selling shit. If I buy something, I sell something. Generally is how it goes. So if I end up keeping this, an amp is going to go. Yeah, let me know if anyone's got any questions. Alright, well, while I'm waiting for some questions, let me show you the drive. This is the drive I dialed up for this guitar. I just learned this riff today. Yeah, so this is basically, I'm a Marshall head, right? So this is kind of like my approximation of a Marshall sound on this. Hey, Gary Davlin, how are you? Yeah. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. If you don't recognize those riffs, it's because they're mine. Yeah. Yeah, I just learned that riff today, Sandra, so I'm flubbing it. I haven't got it quite under my fingers yet. That is a busy riff. I love this part. Killer riff, man. Yeah, just learned that like half an hour ago. Yeah, so that's the bridge pickup, right? You know, and then you get the neck. Whoops. Yeah, I love it. Whoops. I'm driving to get my fabric top. Oh, cool, Randy. Yeah, you were saying that a couple weeks ago. Good for you, buddy. My bandmates from the 70s and 80s have been jamming together. Any talk of playing live again comes down to who is going to carry amps. We were 66 years to... Craig is it. Yeah, Terry, it's funny. I don't know when you tuned in, but I was just talking about getting, I got a smaller amp that weighs a little less just for that reason, so I can get it in and out of the car. I'm not quite that old. I'm still in my 50s, but, Hey, Charles Green, how are you, buddy? Nice to see you, man. Great use of the grandchildren. Daniel Newberry, how are you? Thank you, sir. Yeah, I think it sounds cool. That's basically my tone, right? That's my heavy rock tone. I'm not a big, high gain guy, right? Unless, calls for it. Like... I can't even remember my own wrist. Oh, forget it. Love this song. Islander Winder, how's it going, man? Long time no see. I rocks the blues. You do the 80s hair metal. I tried. I was playing Still of the Night earlier. Just learned that like a half an hour ago. Swear to God. Rick Hafner, how's it going, buddy? Did I miss anybody here? Let me just scroll back. John the Dark Wizard, how's it going, man? Oh, I got lots of people showing up. This is awesome. Thank you so much, guys. When I come on live, I never know who's going to show, and you guys always show up, and I really appreciate that. So that's very cool. All right, I think I caught everybody in here. Say hello if you're in here. Jason Metahavik. Sounded good. Thanks, man. Thanks for being here. Hack, do you get a chance to see many shows, concerts these days? Um, Actually, I don't. No, not that I don't get a chance. It's just honestly, there's not a lot of bands I really want to see. I mean, I know that sounds terrible, but the last, I'll tell you, the last what was the last thing I went to see. I think it was Guthrie Govan with the Aristocrats. I think that was the last thing I saw, and then I went to see Accept because Philip Schaus that I had on yesterday, the guy I did the interview with, he caught me some tickets when he came to Toronto. And funny enough, the only show, the only Canadian date they had in Toronto, Mark Trujillo, I don't know how you say his last name, Trujillo. Anyways, the singer, his voice was messed up, so they played with no singer, and the bass player was singing some, and the drummer was singing some, and they're still out there like rocking and doing all their shit. And it was kind of a very short set, but hey, it was So I was asking Phil yesterday if they're ever coming back to Canada so I could see the whole show, but these things happen, right? Oh, Guthrie is a beast. I think Guthrie right now is technically, I'm not going to say he's my favorite, but technically I think he's the best guitar player on the planet right now. I mean, to see him in person, and I'm sitting there like I was standing right in front of Guthrie, and I'm just kind of looking at him like, holy shit. I've seen him twice. I saw him with the Aristocrats, and then I saw him by himself. This is years ago, and he just had a local pickup band, and the drummer, and that guy could not keep up with Guthrie. Guthrie kept looking over like, what's this guy doing? He just couldn't keep up with him. Guthrie is insanely good. My favorite guitar player on the planet right now is Nuno Betancourt, hands down. Oh, thank you so much, Jason. Appreciate that, man. I agree, Daniel. Yeah, technically, there's nobody that can match Guthrie at the moment. That I am aware of. I mean, there's millions of guitar players, of course, right? But that I'm aware of. Yeah, and if you haven't listened to Erotic Cakes, which is a Guthrie record, I mean, that guy weaves through every style in one song, and he just does it seamlessly. Like it's rock, and then there's a little bit of fusion in there. There's some prog in there, and man, that's just I love, and I try to do this with my music, but of course, I'm no Guthrie, right? The ability, the little ability that I have, I like to kind of have a lot of different elements, right? And I try to keep because I do a lot of instrumental stuff. I try to keep it very interesting with like different parts and take you different places, right? But this guy does it on such a level that's just insane, right? Yeah, Sevens is great. Yeah, yeah, I've seen him play Sevens live. I mean, that's the thing, right? You see these guys. I mean, we hear these guys on record, and then you see them do it in person, and it's like, and they're not even trying. The guy's just like, it's just so seamless, man. It's just incredible. Yeah. Sandra hates typing. Take a break, Sandra. Take a break. George Badar, how are you? Cool, cool. All right, I'm just getting caught up here on the chat. So, what do you think? You guys dig the tones? You like that tone? Had to throw in some Kiss. Epiphonium, how's it going? Oh, Rabia? Yeah, Rabia's insane too. Yeah. Think you passed the audition, Gussie? All right, we're half an hour in. I'm going to switch guitars. Don! What's up, brother? I'm going to switch guitars. So I'm going to go to the SG. So this, I dialed up a tone that kind of works for both of them, and this will kind of give you an idea. Believe it or not, there is a big difference in sound between an SG and a Les Paul, even though they're both humbucker Gibsons. Good old Dava picks. Never leave home without them. If you've never tried these, this one's a little worn actually. I'll use this one. If you've ever tried these are absolutely. The other day I couldn't find one, and I picked up one of my own picks. Yes, there are Guitar Hack picks. There you go. Can you see that? Kind of, maybe a little. Yeah. And on the other side, you got two logos. You got the Blacky logo on one side, and you got the old school Guitar Hack logo on this side. I was using this, and it's like I never picked up a guitar in my life. It was weird. And then I went to the Dava, and I was able to play again. So Dava picks are killer. So here's the clean. So much brighter, eh? That's the neck, or the bridge, sorry. This is the middle. And here's the neck. Oops. There it is. Love the sound of this thing. Do I know any Skinnerd? Just getting cut up here. Oh, Don got his hat. They are now available with embroidered logos. Woo. A couple people bought them. They're very cool. They're actually very well made hats. You know, I bought one because I sell them, and then it's like, let me buy one and make sure they're decent. That's actually a really good quality hat. So, very happy with the way they turned out. Just going down here. Do I know any Skinner? I'm not a big Southern rock guy, John. Yeah, I don't know any Skinner. Yeah, check out the links below. Thanks, Sandra. And hit the like button. Much appreciated. How many guitars do you have and what are they? How many guitars? I think I'm at 13. All right, real quick. Les Pauls. I have Blackie. Another one I affectionately call Snots because it's got snot green inlays. It's an old classic from 2005. So another used guitar. So I got Blackie. I got Snots. I have a black Les Paul Classic with P90s on it. There's 3. I have a Tobacco Burst Standard 50s. There's 4. I have an RO. There's 5. And then I have the Tribute, which is in a gig bag upstairs because that's what I'm going to be playing for St. Patty's Day gig because it's a tight place and, you know, it's a less expensive guitar, so I'm not too concerned about it. So how many is that? Is that 5 or 6? I can't. Anyway, I got more Gibsons. I got a Firebird. I have the SG, and I have a 339. So I think that's 8. I'm not sure. Who's keeping count? 8 or 9? I have a Strat. I have a Telecaster. I have a PRS. And I have another Gibson. I have a Gibson Acoustic. I think that's all of them. Yeah. Nice sounds. Thank you. Yeah, P90s are cool. I would suggest I don't have my Tribute down here, and my Classic is over there, and it's needs tuning up. But yeah, man, if you've never tried a P90 guitar, it's incredible. And if you want a real cheap, the most cheap ass Gibson you can buy, Les Paul is the Tribute, and I got nothing but good things to say about that thing. It surprises the hell out of me. I've gigged with it, and it's glorious, man. It's a really cheap, just stripped down, bare bones, nothing guitar. Slab of wood, 2 pickups on it, no binding, nothing fancy, dot inlays, whatever. But that thing is absolutely devastating. What an amazing instrument. It's like the cheapest. I mean, there's friggin' Epiphones cost more than that thing. You know, just a really good guitar for cheap. I got mine used. Save me $200. Most of my stuff is used, and nothing wrong with that. Saves you money. All right, so let's hear what some dirt sounds like on this puppy. It's a little too much gain for this riff, but I got an SG, so I got to play it. That's it. Use guitars. No more songs. Yeah, Epiphonium. Yeah, that's a good point. Use guitars, no more songs. That's a good point. Never thought of that. Yeah, they've played more. Papa Blue's in here. Everybody saying hello to Papa Blue. I didn't see you, man. Welcome, Papa Blue. Where's Papa Blue? I missed him. I don't see him. How come I don't see Papa Blue? I'm looking at the StreamYard chat, so maybe it's a little bit different. But everybody should show up on this one. I don't know why. It's weird. Oh, there he is, Papa Blue. I see you now. How are you? Cool, cool. Just Michael B. Live. How's it going, man? Hope you're doing well. So again, if you're just tuning in, I bought a Mesa dual rectifier. I got a mic with an SM57. That's what you're hearing. No effects, just that amp on the drive channel, and it's absolutely amazing. So, and I scored one for $1,000 off. I got it used, and it was like freaking brand new. It's like, me and the guy in the store, we took it out of the box. We're like, this is used. It's like, I'll take it, man. So big score, man. The other new piece of gear that I was alluding to earlier, which also was a big score. Everybody's familiar with Friedman, right? Everybody's familiar with Friedman. And I got a Friedman small box pedal. Now, those things in Canada, after taxes, they go for about $340 for the small box pedal. I scored one for 180. So again, used. And man, that pedal is it is sick. It is so sick. It kicked my Lawrence Petros 74 pedal off my main board. That's how good that pedal is. And that is like I'm using it for my heavier drive on my big board. I've got two boards, a big board and a small board. Big board for when I have room. A lot of times I got little tiny stages, so I got a little tiny board. So, but the 74 is now on the small board. The small box made it to the big board. That thing is just sick. It's so you can. I mean, if you're a knob turner like I am, I don't like menus. I'm a Neanderthal. I want knobs, right? And you can just tweak any frickin' sound you want, and you can get some really sweet drive sounds out of that thing. It's killer. The small box pedal. If you can find one used, man, and you can get a deal on it, I got nothing but good things to say about the Friedman small box pedal. I'm sure the other pedals are great too, but that thing is just sick. But not for heavy gain. I'm talking like rock. You can do 80s and that kind of thing. But if you want to, like, if you're going to play like Meshuggah or something, maybe that's not enough gain for you. But if you're doing 80s and 70s stuff, it just kills. I got all this shit. I got to do demos for it. I got to do a demo on the Recto-Verb here, and I got to do a demo on that hopefully soon. It just takes so much time to do those demos, right? Yeah, thank you, Pete. Yeah, I've been on a streak lately, man, with the stuff like that. I picked up a Gibson Les Paul faded couple days ago with the Rev amps. Yeah, the Rev amps are killer. Rev amps are killer. Knobs is the only way to go. Yeah, amen, Papa Blue. Gotta go with knobs, man. Okay. Money was no object. Do you have a Holy Grail guitar? I have it already. I'm a huge Gibson guy. Surprise. Gibson. Look at my logo, Gibson. I'm a Les Paul guy. At the end of the day, I like playing with other guitars, but for me, home base is always a Les Paul. And I have it. I have an RO, which, if you're not familiar, it's a 1960 reissue custom shop guitar, and it's VOS, so it's a little bit aged. It's not relic. There's no missing paint or nothing. It's just the metals are dulled on it. Again, that was a score, In Canada right now, those things are going for about 10,000. I paid half of that for mine, and I sold a bunch of shit to buy it. So, but that's my holy grail. That's the best Les Paul I own, hands down. And I don't have it out right now. Usually I have it on a stand like right here, because that's a guitar I play 99% of the time. But I recorded with it, and I'm gonna play you the song here again in a minute. The gig, I recorded with it, so it's still in the case from when I recorded that song about 2 weeks ago. And that's on most of my stuff, most of my original stuff. That's the RO that I'm using, most of it, not all of it, most of it. I want a 4-pound Les Paul. Epiphonium, I was talking earlier about the tributes, the Les Paul tributes. They're the cheapest Les Pauls going, and they don't weigh a lot. It's just literally a slab of wood. And I think it's actually thinner because it doesn't have a top cap on it, so it's a little thinner. They're actually very light. Treble booster in front of my Marshall. These pedals are way underrated. I have one of those, Ricky Compton. You're talking about the Tony. Yeah, I have that pedal. And I'll tell you where I use that, Ricky. I use that as my lead boost. It's the best. And I know it's kind of a shame using it as a lead boost because it can do so much more than that. But I actually use it as a lead boost because of you can really shape your tone with it, right? It's got, the 3-position switch, the EQ switch. And you can really dial in your tone for a great singing lead tone. And that's what I use it for. It works amazing in that function. And yeah, it's a killer pedal. Love that riff. Sounds a little bit out of tune. All right, let me know if anybody's got any more questions. I think I'm caught up on the chat. If I haven't said hello to you, pop yourself in the chat so I can do that. Thanks, everybody. You got 31 people in here. This is awesome. Thank you so much. So what's coming up on the channel since I got 31 of you in here? Next week, look for... I'm hoping to do another Kiss show. I know I've done so many of them, but this one is going to be, we're going to make one good Kiss record out of the 4 Kiss solo records. And that'll be myself and the drummer in Rebel Charm. Check out those videos I've been putting out, Rebel Charm, from our rehearsals. The band is really, really good. I got a crazy good drummer, Mike, who's the guy who's going to be doing the show with me. I got a crazy good bass player. The bass player can play guitar, play circles around me. The guy's a total Eddie Van Halen dude. And I got my wife as the singer, and I'm the weak link in that band. I don't know why those guys let me in the room, but I thank them for doing it because I love playing with those guys. But yeah, so check out those videos. Was it yesterday? We did Talking About Love. That went out yesterday. Talking About Love, Van Halen. And I know I'm using the wrong guitar. I'm playing it with the Les Paul, God forbid. But check that one out. And then we did a Cheap Trick song. I Want You to Want Me. We did Rock and Roll All Night was another one. And I think we did a U2 song, Vertigo. So check those out. Yeah, check out those videos. And But if nothing else, please check out my original music because I work hard on it, and I like it to get a little more out there. My original songs, and I'll be playing my latest one here again in a minute. So. Yeah, I can't not play AC/DC when you got an SG. It's just like it comes, I gotta play AC/DC. See, again, that's the drive off the amp. I'm not using anything, no effects whatsoever. It's just the amp and the reverb on the amp, and that's it. And it absolutely sounds amazing. My wife's cousin plays in an AC/DC tribute band. They're called Power Age. They played the Token Lounge and was cool. Yeah, that's my wife singing Papa Blue. Sabbath. Oops. Sweet Leaf. There you go. You got to play anything Sabbath. You got to play it with the root on the sixth. I see guys playing, like Paranoid. No, how's Paranoid go again? Anyways, but you got to play it up here. You gotta play it up here. Can't play it on here. No root on the 5. Gotta be on. That's how Tony plays it. Everything is root on the low E. Yeah, and drop C sharp as well, Ricky. I'm in standard tuning. So, hey, Mitch. Yeah, Mob Rules. Mob Rules is my favorite Sabbath album. I know it's blasphemy, but I love the Dio stuff. Yeah, tone is different. Yes, exactly, George. And Sabbath is all about the heavy, so you got to play everything. That's why, like Sweet Leaf, I could play. But it doesn't sound as good as go. You know what I mean? You got to play everything with the root on the 6th. It's the best stuff. Heaven and Hell is one of the best albums ever. Yeah, Heaven and Hell is great. I still prefer Mob Rules, though. I saw that tour with Dio when it came. This is what, 1980? God, 1 or 2 or something. I don't know. So, Sabbath songs, Planet Caravan. Yeah, that's a very psychedelic type song. All right. Okay, we're at the hour. So I'm going to, if you haven't listened to this tune, and I know I've been harping on it, but please go check out my original music. there's a Guitar Hack Topic YouTube channel where you can have just listen to the music. It's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's on Apple Music, all streaming services. If you want to watch the video with the song, then I have a playlist on the Guitar Hack channel that's all the songs with the videos, and some of them Sandra did, and the ones Sandra did are like killer productions. She did an amazing job on those videos. I get compliments for, on the video. And I say, man, it's not me. That's all Sandra. So check those videos out. Very cool. And if you just, again, want to listen to the music, they're available on all kinds of streaming services. So I'm going to play my latest here, which is called The Gig. I'm real proud of this song. This may well be the very last song I ever record, unless I straighten things out here. But I'm trying, because I got all kinds of riffs. But anyways, so check this song out. And it's not a long one. And I'll be back here in a second. Here we go. This is The Gig. Let's start that from the beginning, shall we? All right, here we go. You get up, look around. This is up, this is down. Comb your hair, see what's left. Another day to be your best. Jump in the car, drive to work. Try not to be a driving jerk. Cut you off, that's alright. You won't piss me off tonight. To the gig, so much fun, playing music for everyone. Get up and dance, take a chance. From the stage, it's all happenstance. We come here tonight to make you feel alright. We rehearse these songs to play them as they should. There you go. Real happy with that way that one turned out, despite my horrible singing. I thought the tune was pretty cool. I was going for an 80s cheese feel on that, so hopefully you got that with the lyrics and the music. So, yeah. So and all the production and the bass playing on that and the program drums, that's all my brother. But the music and the guitars and unfortunately the vocals in this case, yours truly right here, I'm guilty as charged. So yeah. So check that out. There's all kinds of stuff like that, a lot of instrumental stuff. There's check out my playlist on the channel or go stream it on Spotify and yeah, it's all there. Any streaming service. Much appreciated everybody. Singing reminds me of Talking Heads. Yeah, yeah. But David Byrne could get away with it. I can't quite get away with it. You know. Yeah, yeah. You know who else can get away with it? Randy Bachman can get away with it. I don't know if I can get away with it. You like the lead? Thank you, John. Yeah, that's a little. That lead was. Yeah, that was a first take. Actually, I did a whole bunch of them. It turns out what I did, I didn't even realize I was being recorded when I did that. I was just mucking around. So it turned out to be the best one of the bunch. So that's what we went with. So. Yeah, let me know if you got any questions about that track. That was the Charvel was the main guitar on that one. The solo was the RO, Les Paul. There's even a Jaguar in there on the fanfares, the da da da, you know. But and then the heavy guitar was the Charvel. It was like basically we overlaid two guitars with four tracks for the gun gun da da da, you know, and. I don't know. I like that heavy part in the middle because you do not expect that. And that's what I want all my songs to have, something that is like, what the hell did he just do? And then it brings you back in. I think that's a cool device, but I've gotten shit for it, but I think it's a cool device. But there you go. All right. We're a little over the hour, so let me know if anybody's got any last minute questions. So coming up on the channel again, next week we're doing a Kiss show. We're taking 4 Kiss solo albums. We're making one good album out of that. The week after that with Pete Pardo, we're doing a ranking of the Styx albums. Our 5 favorite Styx albums will be the following week. So I got 2 things coming up in the next couple of weeks. And, you know, keep an eye out. I might do another short here and there. You know, the shorts, sometimes I feel like turning on the camera and playing a riff, and that'll be a short. So keep an eye on those. And, yeah, and if you want to help support the channel, again, there's links below. You can get embroidered hats like this. You can get t-shirts and hoodies and mugs and all that kind of stuff. There's a PayPal down there as well. If you're not on my Guitar Hack Facebook page or Instagram, go check those out. And there's a lot of good information, a lot of geeky guitar stuff in there. People sharing stuff all the time. So it's a nice little community there as well in the Guitar Hack group. Sandra saw Styx. Cool. Yeah, I'd never seen Styx. That's sometimes the best way to record. No red light. Yeah. There's a couple of times that's happened, George, where like I was just fooling around. It's like, no, that's the one we're gonna use. There's a couple of instances of that. Thanks, Don. Yeah, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and make sure you hit the like button. And okay, I don't see any other questions, so I'm gonna let everybody go. Thank you all so much for hanging out on this Saturday. It was a last minute thing. They usually are. I won't be doing another one of these probably for a couple of months because we're playing St. Paddy's Day and we're doing every weekend in April. And once the gigs start rolling, and I'm just so thankful that I'm still upright and able to play guitar and do these shows and carry a much lighter amp. That's going to save my back. So there you go. All right, everybody. Have a great night, and we will see you hopefully next week for the shows that I mentioned earlier. All right. Take care, everybody. Cheers.